Oh, right, start a journey. For some reason the light on the camera has come on. Hopefully that won't ruin too much. Right, this is my walk to work video. It is a miserable day outside in Korea. Well, I don't know about all of Korea, but Cheongju. So this will be a fair and balanced perspective of this lovely city. There is a lift. This is a first world country. I don't have to walk up and down the stairs, but at the moment I'm not doing much in the way of exercise, so it seems to me that walking up and down 9 flights of stairs at least once or twice a day will only be good. Doesn't make the most visually exciting video, I'll grant you. In fact, there we go. And through the magical powers of editing, now at the bottom of the street. Probably going to not talk too much so I don't look too crazy. That was the guard, whose sole job it seems to be to shout at people for not having the right rubbish. They're very keen on what goes in rubbish bins and it actually is raining. Ugh. This was a terrible idea. Right then. Okay. I'll try and keep the camera dry since it's the first day I've got it. But right. Oh wow. This isn't normal. This isn't how people normally get out of their rooms. But wow. Still in their door. Yes. This is the corner shop. It's pretty good. Almost all the corner shops in Korea seem to have like English style names. Like this one's CU, this GS Mart, there's the American 7-Eleven. I don't know, it's almost like they realise that there's going to be a lot of Westerners who need to nip out and grab something, or maybe it's just like the style of those supermarkets are a more Western thing. So. Now this is one of the first streets that I walked down when I came to Cheongju out in the Friday morning, and it's not one of the more pleasant places. But I guess, every city has these places, one spot or another. But this isn't an accurate depiction of Cheongju, really. It gets a lot nicer later on. Although this is where all the cats hang out, so read into that what you want. I've yet to go into or visit many of these shops yet, so getting suspicious looks from the old woman behind me. I can't remember the Korean for old woman right now, but I doubt it would be a good thing to necessarily use it. Maybe some Korean old women don't consider themselves thus. So you can see here that I've barely been in any of these shops, but standard sort of stuff. There's an awful lot of butchers and places like that in Korea, which apparently people in Korea used to eat mainly vegetables, hardly ever eat meat when it was more rural, but now it's become more urban. People have really got into their meat. So, right, to the right. There's normally people selling fruit and veg there on a normal day, but I guess because of the weather they haven't bothered. Over here you can see the Korean lady running inside. That's so like the nearest thing's like a supermarket near me. It's not massive, but it's got a pretty decent selection, which means it sells cereal. Over there is the pizzeria that I've been using, and further down that road, that's how you get to the massive Tesco clone. this is the little stall that sells those fish things that I was eating on one of my videos the other day. I don't really know necessarily what they're called yet, but someone did tell me, but I've forgotten. Likewise, it's a shame that it's raining, because normally to the left there's well, not a huge banner, that's terrible. There's like loads of people on the streets selling like nuts and vegetables, and I've even seen one guy selling tables. You know, it strikes me as pretty odd. I mean, I can understand walking past this dude selling his nuts and his whatever and being like, oh, I could fancy some nuts, but how often do you just waltz down the road and think, oh, I fancy a table? But I don't know. Right, you can see on these buildings they've all got numbers and then the Korean lettering. I imagine this would be really helpful once I know my Korean alphabet, but at the moment it's it's only helpful if someone says to you, I'm that number building right over there. Otherwise I can't understand anything. I'm walking with a bit of trepidation today, because one of the first things I've got to do when I get in is convince my director that to let me do Movember. I've been growing, but I've been reluctant to post anything because I don't want to suggest I've started it and then have to shave it all off. I don't know, I'll give it a go. Apparently Koreans don't like facial hair, but the dude in Old Boy's got facial hair, so go figure. This restaurant here on the left in the red, that's the first time I went out with Ferg and Joe and Pete and Rachel. We sat and had like the traditional Korean barbecue stuff. It's really, really nice, and apparently like the place is really reasonable as well. So this is the American influence. You've got your Paris baguette to the left, and this is much more the main sort of this is a much better indication of what Cheongju is actually like. And then just here we've got Baskin Robbins, which I've yet to go to. So in Korea their traffic lights are a bit different than ours, because they don't have they have like the red man means stop and the green man means go, but underneath the green man they actually have a countdown from 30 for how long you've got to cross the road, which I guess is really helpful. But part of the problem is, it seems, but Ferg was telling me something about like if cars are at traffic lights, a red light doesn't necessarily mean you have to stop. It means you well, a lot of texturists seem to think it means you can stop, but legally or something you actually can go right at a red light or something ridiculous like that. So I tend to just go with, not many people seem to use these subways, most people, these like under tunnels or whatever, most people seem to prefer to just cross at the top, but getting run over in Korea isn't one of the experiences that I'm looking to achieve in my time here. So, and just like at the start of the video, at the end of the day, walking up some stairs probably do me some good. I'm not looking to come back from Korea with a gut that can be seen while I'm recording videos out ahead of me. That's a creepy restaurant with the cow that's so happy you're eating it, or its friends. And now it's more or less just a straight walk into where I work. So, another supermarket here, which is a better one than the one that's nearer to me. They've got like, in Korean supermarkets they have this massive selection of like dried fish and squid in like almost like beef jerky style packs, but the kids love it. You'll smell something disgusting behind you, and it'll be one of these children chewing on squid, dried squid or something. I mean, it doesn't look great, but I don't know. I've yet to see like kids. You don't really see kids like munching on an apple or anything like that. It always seems to be this dried squid stuff. So these, you see there the tow truck. Apparently these things all have got sirens, and they race to get to the jobs. And and they'll just go straight through. They can actually go through traffic lights like policemen can, or they do go through anyway. Yeah, Dunkin' Donuts is huge in Korea. Well, in Cheongju, there's I've already seen about 4 of them, and they always seem to be busy. So, and it's really good having it this close to the school because it means you can pop out and get something if you want to. The woman I work with, Jessie, is really generous, and she's been a couple of times and got something, and they've got these scratch to win cards, and she won some donuts and gave them to me. So now I feel, oh no, I have to go and buy some coffee and donuts now to say thank you, which means I get coffee and donuts. So not the worst thing in the world. These big inflatable tubes here at the sides, these are advertising, and you can see there the lid, and what they'll do later on is they'll deflate them down and then put the lid on the top like the one ahead, and it's not in the way anymore. They're everywhere though. You can see all the signs posted on the trees and on the lampposts for the advertising. And this is my school. Alright.